Now, it's okay that they have to make repairs, but to close off our waterway for 3 straight weeks, nobody going from either side, totally unacceptable. There are businesses on both sides of the bridge that depend on access to both sides of the bridge. Hey everybody, I hope that you've all had a great week this week. As always, I'm here with an update on what has happened in Congress. I want to start with a couple of local issues. First, let's talk about the Brightline train. As many of you know, our community is in an ongoing battle with the Brightline train over the schedule and the closures of the St. Lucie River because of the railroad bridge that crosses over the St. Lucie River, its impact on boating, on marine life, on our way of life in the Treasure Coast. Now this week, I was made aware of another issue. Brightline wants to close the bridge for 3 weeks straight beginning in mid-April in order to make repairs to the part of the bridge that makes it go up and down. Now, it's okay that they have to make repairs, but to close off our waterway for 3 straight weeks, nobody going from either side, totally unacceptable. There are businesses on both sides of the bridge that depend on access to both sides of the bridge. Marinas, repair shops, barge companies, fueling stations, those that go out there and retrieve boats that are stalled in the water or can't get off of a sandbar, law enforcement agencies, first responders, they all stand to suffer major economic impact and literally the ability to go out there and do their job. Now on top of that, many boats are returning to our area for spring and summer. This is the pattern with Brightline. We're asked to bend over backward to accommodate a company that tries to steamroll our community at every turn, and they literally provide zero benefit to our community. So I reached out to the United States Coast Guard to ask them to review the economic impacts of what this schedule, or rather this closure, would have on both sides of the bridge in our community. Now thankfully, they seem to agree and told me that they are pushing Brightline to come up with an alternative repair schedule that's not disruptive in the way that this one is to our community. I'm going to keep you all updated as I learn more about that. There are a number of things at play going on with that issue, and as I said, we'll keep you updated on all of those things. Second local issue I want to touch on is the Corps of Engineers' decision to release discharges from Lake Okeechobee into the St. Lucie River. Discharges are never a good thing for our estuaries, for our community, for the East Coast. Plain and simple, my fight has always been zero discharges, and I continue to have that fight. Freshwater from Lake Okeechobee messes with our brackish ecosystem and threatens the species that call that ecosystem home. However, there is a reality of this situation. The lake right now is too high thanks to Hurricanes Ian and Nicole. It's at about 16 feet. We're getting close to the rainy season as we move into the summer, hurricane, rainy time of the year. Once we hit that rainy season and it's hot, because Lake Okeechobee is so toxic and dirty, it is going to fill with nasty, toxic algal blooms. It's going to be green. We've all seen that year after year, and we don't want to have those discharges coming into our coastal estuary. There is in fact a difference of just the bad, gross fresh water that is in Lake Okeechobee and has too many nutrients, a difference between that and the toxic blue-green algae covering 50 or more % of the lake getting released into our community. So that is a little bit of the fight that's going on with that right now. The goal, again, always zero discharges. That's what we fight for. That's why we're pushing for a rewrite of the lake's operating schedule. That's why we're urging the Army Corps of Engineers to finish projects like the EAA Reservoir. We were happy to see the Herbert Hoover Dike repairs be completed and have the ribbon cutting on that this week. And it's why I've introduced bills like the Northern Estuaries Restoration Plan, or as we call it, NERP. But until we get there, discharges in January is in fact in this situation the lesser of the two evils. Now finally, I want to shift to a global issue, the war in Ukraine. This week the Biden administration, they announced that it's going to be sending 31 Abrams tanks to Kiev, the most capable tanks anywhere in the globe. Now let's talk about why this doesn't exactly make sense, the good and the bad of this. These tanks, they don't exist yet. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. They're still in production, and it will be months before we're able to get them to the front lines, quite potentially. The U.S. military is moving away from the Abrams battle tank for a number of units. That means these tanks are essentially being mothballed in a number of different places, but defense contractors are going to keep producing them, even though we have hundreds of them literally sitting on the sidelines, sitting along fence lines in different places, but we're going to keep producing them in order to send them to Ukraine. That is the military-industrial complex at work right there. If we were going to send them those tanks, why not send them the ones that are already built, that we are not using, and that will essentially sit along a fence line and rot instead of producing brand new ones? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. So I want to see Ukraine win. That is a fact. But we need an actual plan for victory, not just blindly spending billions of your money, because it is all your money. Now, the good news is that the new Republican majority takes that very seriously. I will be working with the Foreign Affairs Committee to make sure that we're moving towards a defined national strategic objective in anything that we do as it pertains to Ukraine or anything else foreign affairs related. As somebody that sits on the Foreign Affairs Committee, I can tell you that that is always at the top of my priority list. Now, as always, I just want to say this: absolute honor to be able to be your representative. If you're ever coming up to Washington, D.C., I hope that you stop through the Capitol. I'll give you a tour, talk to you about the issues going on, show you what's happening here. If you have kids under 18, we can always take the kids onto the floor of the House of Representatives to show them how we vote, what we vote on, what that actually looks like. So again, always happy to have you come through here if you're coming through D.C. In that, I wish you all the best. You all take care. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe. I will be back on YouTube with more exclusive content, so stay tuned.